How good is Drajeweled Masques? If you haven't watched the video where I talk about the Masque of Hydrogrum, go take a look at that first. Let's talk about Karmic Demonic Dragon Drajeweled Masque. Continuous, this card can only be written from a grade 3 with Drajeweled in its card name. Act Vanguard Circle once per turn. Cost, remove a card with Drajeweled in its different card name from this unit from your hand, soul, or drop. Choose 2 cards from your drop, put them into your soul, and this unit gets critical +1 until end of turn. Auto Vanguard Circle, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, cost CB1 and Soul Blast 4 cards with different grades, choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards, retire them, choose 1 of your opponent's Vanguard, and increase or decrease its power to 1 until end of turn. So what's different about this card compared to its original version? By removing a Drajeweled and its different card name, we can more easily put into our soul cards with grades we are missing for its other skill. The crit is now also attached to this skill, which means we'll probably want a couple of extra original Drajeweleds in our deck. The Soul Blast 4 ability to set our opponent's Vanguard power to 1 now requires a Counterblast, but in exchange we get to retire 2 of their rear guards. Overall, I don't think this is quite an upgrade, as while the retire effect is nice, the extra crit is now harder to get and we didn't really have that much soul consistency issue. The worst part of this card is the CB requirement, as Rockagore also uses a CB, but because of how explosive Masque Hydrogrum can be, overall, the Masque unit makes this deck more threatening. Since this card is not out in English yet, and I haven't gone through this card in the past, I'll quickly talk about Flower of Ruined Castle and Puza. Auto from Rigor Circle, when you Soul Blast 4 or more at the same time for the cost of your Vanguard's ability. If your unit did not stand by a card's ability this turn, you may stand this unit. If you stand this unit, at the end of the turn, cost retire this unit. Choose a grade 2 or greater unit card from your soul and put it into your hand. The effect at the end of turn can only be used if this card will stand by its effect. This card is pretty much a free multi-attacker, as the requirement is that we have Soul Blasted 4 in order to stand. And Puza also helps us secure Persona Rise every turn, and we can just continue to recycle the copies once we have Persona Road for a turn. Remember to think ahead to our next turn and not return something that will screw up our Soul Blast. Let's hope that English gets this promo around the time this set releases, or the only way we can do 5 attacks is with 2 Rockagores, and that's 3 CBs including our Vanguard, so yeah. When Cranium Burner was announced, people lost their minds. But after testing, this card really doesn't do as much as we thought it did. Let's go over the effect first. Auto Rigor Circle, when this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Drajeweled in its card name, this unit gets power plus 2k until end of that battle. At the end of that battle, if you Soul Blast 4 or more cards at the same time for the cost of your Vanguard's ability this turn, cost retire this unit and countercharge 1. So yes, while it does countercharge, the timing of this card only sets up our next turn, as we can only CC when we have used Drajeweled's skill already. And it must attack as well. More importantly, we're going from 5 attacks to 4 attacks by doing this. The number on this card is also not impressive at all. Gaining 2k doesn't do anything, as 12k to 1 is still a 15k guard, whereas Rockagore is a 20k attack. To run cards with less CB, I opted for a 4 Masque of Hydrogrum lineup with none of the Searcher. The Searcher is not a great attacker for us, like Cranium Burner. Plus, we have so many chances at drawing the cards we need, from the Mulligan, Draw Triggers, Drajeweled's skill, and the grade 2 Ryland skill. The next card that kinda supports this deck is Twin Marble Dragon. Auto Rigor Circle, once per turn, when you Soul Blast 3 or more cards at the same time for the cost of your Vanguard's ability, look at the top card of your deck. Put it on the top of the deck or into the soul, and this unit gets power plus 2k until end of turn. Looking at the top of the deck to potentially put a card into soul is not worth it to us, as we have multiple ways of fueling our soul already. Speaking about fueling the soul, Swirler and Gungarim makes their return as good early game pieces and also provide us with bigger columns. One of the plays we can do in this deck is the turn after we have rolled in the Drajeweled Masque, we can choose to ride the original Drajeweled again to use its skill to soul charge, which can power up our Swirlers. Then using Masque of Hydrogrum, we will still get off our Persona Ride by going into Drajeweled Masque again. Let's look at a simple deck list. The ride line remains the same, with 4 of each Drajeweled to maximize Drajeweld Masque skill, Swirler and Gungarim for early push, and Puza Rockagore for multi-attacks. I think this deck is good because of how well it utilizes the Masque of Hydrogrum, but I think it is very overhyped and the price does not justify its power level. With this deck requiring so many pieces and having so many rear guards on board, it may be hard for us to deal with retired decks as we have to set up again every single turn. What do you think about Drajeweled Masque? Let me know and I'll see you all soon.